Welcome, viewers. What if our brilliant modern world went completely dark, wiping out all progress in just a single heartbeat? We fear the blazing fire of nuclear weapons, the crushing shockwaves, and the deadly radiation. But the deadliest threat does not shatter concrete. It strikes in silence from the cold vacuum of space. A massive electromagnetic pulse from high above, frying every radar and modern bank server. No bombs hit the ground, yet a mighty superpower falls back 200 years into total chaos. Picture a glowing metropolis in the Middle East, fueled by endless energy and brilliant lights. Millions of people sleep safely under the constant hum of giant transformers and digital networks. The lifeblood of this empire is electricity, pumping through complex veins of copper and thick steel. Every single transaction, every flight path, and hospital bed relies entirely upon this massive grid. Now imagine this technological marvel abruptly plunging into an abyss of absolute darkness. In a mere fraction of a fleeting second, the brilliant neon sky completely dies out forever. The city's hum stops without any warning. How do you cripple a titan without one conventional weapon? How do you bypass heavily fortified borders and erase wealth without a massive ground invasion? Military strategists call this the absolute nightmare of modern asymmetric global warfare. The ultimate weapon is not a physical object that crashes into a building or a bunker. It is an unseen phantom that aggressively hits the final reset button on our civilization, sending us spiraling backward into the Victorian Age, stripping away all modern advancements. According to defense experts, the vulnerability of our modern grid is undeniably high. We have built our lives upon fragile silicon chips, unaware of the impending catastrophe. Look at the glowing screens dictating stock markets. They are simply glass, waiting to go entirely blank. A city lacking electricity runs out of clean water and basic supplies within 3 short days. Traffic lights freeze, communication lines sever, and the mighty engines of commerce grind to a halt. The shadow of panic begins to swallow the streets, as citizens realize their digital world is dead. The foundation of the 21st century is firmly built on a very delicate house of cards. If your city lost all power right now, would you have the skills to survive the incoming massive chaos? Think about the last time your phone battery died, and multiply that helplessness by 1,000,000. Generals sit in command centers, staring at black screens, entirely blinded by the sudden silence. Their advanced missile defense shields, worth billions, are now merely useless pieces of heavy scrap metal. This unseen enemy has crippled the nation's military without spilling a single drop of blood. There are no bomber planes to shoot down, and no invading infantry divisions to bravely repel. Just a chilling, absolute stillness, echoing through the paralyzed veins of a once great superpower. Historically, warfare meant destroying the enemy's capacity to fight on the fierce battlefield. In the age of information, destroying data is far more lethal than destroying the weapons themselves. This silent apocalypse leaves investigators desperately grasping for an invisible phantom. They search the skies for physical threats, but the true danger has already passed right through their walls. To understand the mechanics of this blackout, we must look backward to the dawn of the atomic age. Since the first test at Trinity, humanity has deeply feared the devastating kinetic blast wave. We visualize the terrifying mushroom cloud rising high above a completely ruined, burning city. Historical archives show the sheer physical force of a nuclear blast easily melts steel and concrete. The horrific thermal radiation burns everything, leaving only shadows permanently etched on the walls. Generations are haunted by the toxic radioactive fallout poisoning the land for many decades. This is the classic doomsday scenario: mutually assured destruction, reducing Earth to barren ash. Because of this terror, nations built deep underground bunkers and early warning satellite systems. They designed interceptor missiles to shoot down warheads long before they could impact the target zones. Global defense doctrine is entirely focused on preventing a kinetic, surface-level detonation. But what if the attacker does not truly want to vaporize the physical infrastructure of the state? What if they want to capture the territory intact, but fully paralyze the defending population? A surface blast is a massive red herring in the playbook of asymmetric electronic warfare. If a hostile nation desires systemic collapse rather than physical death, they change the altitude. They do not drop the devastating bomb on the ground. They detonate it high above the atmosphere. By shifting the battlefield into the silent vacuum of space, the physical shockwave completely vanishes. There is absolutely no fireball consuming buildings, and no deadly radioactive dust falling down. If you were standing on the ground, you would barely hear a whisper from the terrifying explosion. This creates a false sense of security, tricking the radar systems that scan the horizon for bombers. The true weapon is not the blast itself, but the invisible physics phenomenon it unleashes downward. Declassified documents reveal that both superpowers accidentally discovered this during the Cold War. In 1962, a nuclear test named Starfish Prime caused streetlights to pop across Hawaii. Over 800 miles away from the blast zone, telephone systems failed and burglar alarms rang wildly. Scientists were absolutely stunned. The bomb had triggered an electromagnetic pulse of immense proportions. The red herring of the mushroom cloud had blinded us to the devastating potential of energy waves. We prepared for a fiery apocalypse, while the enemy learned to simply unplug our civilization. This revelation completely shifted the strategic paradigm of modern warfare and security protocols. Why fight a bloody, prolonged war on the ground when you can instantly turn off the enemy's brain? The mystery box is finally opening. The true nature of this terrifying blackout is coming to light. We must travel 300 kilometers straight up into the freezing, empty darkness of the ionosphere. Imagine a sleek ballistic missile launching quietly into the starry sky, far above the quiet city. It reaches the peak of its trajectory, hanging weightless in the vacuum, completely undetected by all. Inside its titanium casing lies a thermonuclear core, ready to unleash the power of a dying star. When the detonator fires, a blinding flash of pure white light illuminates the curvature of the Earth. In the vacuum of space, there is no air to carry sound, and no oxygen to feed a massive fireball. Instead, the explosion releases a massive, concentrated burst of highly charged, deadly gamma rays. These incredibly fast gamma rays hurtle downward, slamming violently into our Earth's upper atmosphere. Here, physics takes over, triggering a terrifying chain reaction known simply as the Compton Effect. Gamma rays furiously strip electrons from oxygen and nitrogen atoms, sending them speeding earthward. This cascading shower of negatively charged particles interacts with the Earth's natural magnetic field. It generates an invisible, pulsating tidal wave of devastating energy right across the region. This high-altitude electromagnetic pulse travels at the speed of light toward the helpless surface. Before a human eye can even blink, the invisible energy net descends upon the modern Middle East. It easily passes through concrete walls, glass skyscrapers, and heavily fortified military bunkers. The pulse aggressively seeks out anything conductive, turning every copper wire into a dark antenna. Suddenly, the massive power grid meant to sustain the city absorbs millions of volts of raw energy. Microchips, the very brains of our digital era, are instantly fried by overwhelming static voltage. A sophisticated fighter jet on autopilot suddenly becomes an unresponsive, heavy metal coffin. The pilot's digital displays go pitch black as the aircraft plummets helplessly out of the night sky. Down below, colossal industrial transformers violently explode, showering dark streets with blue sparks. Water pumps in the desert reservoirs abruptly stop, cutting off the lifeline to millions of citizens. The pulse shows absolute no mercy to the complex financial servers that hold the region's vast wealth. Hard drives melt, digital bank accounts are instantly wiped clean, erasing fortunes in a millisecond. Where money is merely data, the destruction of servers means the instant collapse of the economy. Highly advanced military bases scattered across the desert are completely neutralized without a fight. Silo doors refuse to open, trapping retaliatory missiles in their own heavily armored graves. Communication satellites above are blinded, severing contact between the commanders and their troops. The nation is deaf, blind, and totally paralyzed, thrown violently back into the brutal Dark Ages. This is the chilling reality of an EMP attack. A seamless victory through complete and utter silence. It exploits our greatest achievement, digital interconnectedness, and makes it our most fatal flaw. According to a congressional commission, an EMP could severely threaten the survival of any state. Without the power grid, society shatters. Law and order dissolve as desperate survival instincts reign. The hospitals fall dark. Life support systems fail, marking the silent beginning of a massive tragedy. This is why defense agencies worldwide spend billions trying to harden grids against this invisible threat. But the terrifying truth remains. No nation is fully prepared to withstand a massive energy wave. To fully comprehend the sheer devastating scale of this invisible assault, look at our daily lives. In the Middle East, massive desalination plants are simply the only source of essential drinking water. When the grid completely collapses into darkness, these giant water pumps will instantly stop running. Without any flowing water, extreme heat and severe dehydration will end lives in 3 brutal days. The grocery store shelves will be quickly stripped entirely bare by panicked citizens right before sunset. Supply chains entirely depend on diesel trucks, but every gas pump needs a working electric network. Emergency generators offer a very brief flicker of hope, but they will soon entirely run out of fuel. The local hospitals become dark tombs where vital ventilators abruptly cease all normal functioning. This silent, deadly disaster completely bypasses the massive armies at the heavily fortified borders. Brave soldiers sit in pitch-black bunkers, gripping highly advanced rifles they simply cannot even use. Without satellite GPS guiding their path, sophisticated tanks are practically blind in the total dark. The intricate radar systems now display nothing but endless waves of blinding static interference. Imagine the sheer, creeping terror of a controller watching hundreds of radar blips instantly vanish away. Commercial jets abruptly plummet as their electronic flight control systems simultaneously fry. A nation's total wealth, stored as binary data in bank centers, is instantly erased forever away. Global stock markets crash because the servers holding digital records are now completely destroyed. People who were millionaires just a second ago possess nothing but paper cash in their own two hands. But paper money loses all value when there is absolutely no food or water left to purchase right now. This devastating EMP apocalypse truly acts as the ultimate equalizer of our modern arrogance. It instantly reveals the stark fragility of a grand society dependent on a single, tiny chip. We spent long decades building an interconnected world without ever seeing this massive target. A single high-altitude blast transforms the glowing jewel into a completely barren, dead wasteland. All of the grand engineering achievements become useless monuments of the forgotten past ages. There is absolutely no army to surrender to, and no treaty to sign to restore the stolen power. The intricate infrastructure of a civilized nation completely ceases in a single, tragic blink. Repairing a massive grid completely burned out by an EMP could take many long, agonizing years. But unfortunately, the starving population in those dark cities cannot wait that long just to eat. Historians often fiercely debate the tipping point where a great empire slowly starts to fall apart. In this specific hypothetical scenario, the final tipping point travels at the sheer speed of light. It requires no vast armies, no costly naval fleets, and absolutely no traditional battlefields. It only demands a single rocket, a warhead, and the truly merciless laws of quantum physics. This is exactly why the threat of an electromagnetic pulse keeps top military planners up at night. It is a final, total checkmate on the global chessboard, delivered in terrifying, absolute silence. The ultimate weapon of the modern century attacks our profound reliance on fast data streams. We must constantly ask ourselves if technological progress has outpaced our basic survival. Are we building an indestructible empire, or just an incredibly frail and fragile glass castle? As the modern city sits in total darkness, a deeply profound realization begins to set in. Right now, the great machines of humanity failed, plunging millions backward into the merciless Stone Age. The mystery box of warfare proves that the strongest shield is quite easily pierced by simple physics. While an electromagnetic apocalypse still remains a highly extreme, tragic doomsday scenario, we must immediately acknowledge the severe vulnerability of grids to unknown external factors. Protecting the fragile electrical heartbeat of our world is absolutely paramount for survival. But this terrifying invisible pulse is not the only way to quickly cripple a global economy. There are very real physical choke points that could easily and instantly trigger a global collapse. If a highly critical strait is blockaded for a grueling and extremely desperate 30-day span, the immediate economic devastation causes a shockwave comparable to a massive kinetic bomb. In our deeply connected world, a physical blockage is just as lethal as a massive EMP strike. The invisible pulse reveals a massive weakness. Could you survive a massive, total grid blackout? Is our massive reliance on modern digital technology our best achievement or our fatal mistake? Please leave your thoughts down below. Hit the like button right now, share this video, and subscribe for more.